What's going on, guys? Haven't had a video up here in a while, but I'm here with Aaron to predict for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view that is happening tomorrow, January 26, 2014. So let's get right into the match card on the pre-show. We got the tag team champions Goldust and Cody Rhodes taking on the New Age Outlaws, who just recently turned heel 2 Raws ago. This is a very interesting matchup. I feel like either team could pick up the victory here, but I just don't think it's time yet to take the titles away from Cody and Goldust or to split them yet, because I feel like they're building up probably a split towards a match at WrestleMania between the two brothers. I don't think that's coming yet, especially on the pre-show. I just don't see belts changing on the pre-show. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes to give a crossroads to the Road Dogg.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the New Age Outlaws will eventually take these titles from them, but I feel like why do it in a pre-show? That doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know why this match is in the pre-show, to be honest. I really think it's going to be a good one, but I agree with everything you said.
All right, so this matchup isn't on the card, but I'm assuming they're going to throw a Divas title match in there, as they always do. And it looks like they've been developing this AJ sort of feud with the Funkadactyls, going against probably Naomi would be my bet, since Cameron hasn't picked up a victory against AJ. AJ retains. I think that's an easy retain. I don't think AJ will lose her belt until they bring up either Emma, who we've seen on TV with her Steins, or Paige. I feel like one of the NXT divas is going to come up and take it from AJ. I don't think anybody on the main roster is ready for that belt yet.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if Funkadactyl, that's one of the last thoughts I feel like are gonna take the belt from AJ. So I don't see it happening. I feel like she'll still hold it until a viable person comes up and takes it from her.
All right, so then we got Bray Wyatt taking on Daniel Bryan. I'm assuming both men will be actually in the 30-man Rumble match as well. At least I hope so. But I feel like this match could be one of the best matches, if not the best match, besides the Rumble itself, because I feel Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt have had a great storyline going on here. The way that Daniel Bryan joined the family and then turned on him, you saw the crowd reaction. That was probably one of the greatest crowd reactions we've heard in a long time. But it would make sense for me to have Bray Wyatt win this matchup. I feel like they're going to keep the momentum of Daniel Bryan going. And then maybe this is going to be the end of the feud. Who knows? We might see it continue. But I'm going to take Daniel Bryan to beat Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if both men are in the Rumble, they'll have Daniel Bryan win just because I feel like they want him to have the most momentum. Kind of like Batista, I feel like they also want him to have a bunch of momentum going into the Rumble. They want to keep us guessing. Two guys I don't believe will win. But in this match, I feel like Daniel Bryan he's pushed well beyond over his limit. He is going at an all-time high. I feel like they're not going to stop this momentum. He's going to beat Bray Wyatt.
I totally agree with you there. And then we have the Beast Brock Lesnar taking on the world's largest athlete, the Big Show. Not really too amped about this matchup. I don't know about you, but I mean, they had to give Brock something. Obviously, on SmackDown, just happened last night, they said Brock will be in the 30-man Rumble match. So that is a very intriguing possibility of someone to win the Rumble. I actually think Brock Lesnar has a good chance. We'll get to that when we predict the actual Rumble match itself. But I think Brock Lesnar is going to beat the Big Show with an F5. I feel like they're going to want to make a huge moment. And why not against a guy that's 500-something pounds in F5, and that's an impressive feat. We saw him do it to Mark Henry. I feel like this matchup won't go past the 10-minute mark, because I don't think they'll want to run it past the 10-minute mark. At least I don't hope so. But I'm going to take Brock Lesnar to defeat the Big Show.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a filler match. It's just something that's going to it was just to fill the card. Now that Brock's back, he needs something just thrown in before WrestleMania starts getting kicked in. Something I'd love to see is if he go top rope and F5 him off the top rope. Now, that takes tremendous strength, but Brock Lesnar is pretty damn strong, so I don't know. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a quicker match. Brock Lesnar's going to win this one relatively easily, probably from an F5.
Yeah. So I totally think just the way the Authority sets up pay-per-views and how they did it last year, I feel like they're going to save the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match for last. They're going to put the Rumble next, so I'm going to predict the Rumble next. There's about 3 guys on my list that I could see winning it. First one's Daniel Bryan. Continuing off the momentum thing, I feel like he deserves a main event spot, and why not give it to him here at the Rumble by winning it? The next guy, I think, is Brock Lesnar. I brought him up in that last match. I think Brock Lesnar could easily have a matchup for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. And the last guy, and this is the guy that I'm going to go with to win the Rumble, I bet you it's a lot of people's picks, but this is a less predictable Rumble than last year at least. There's a couple possibilities. I'm going to go with CM Punk to win the Rumble. He would be, the third guy to win it from the number 1 spot, as you saw Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker win it from the number 1 spot. And I feel like the rumors speculating how CM Punk might leave the company after July, after May with his pay-per-view, it's in June, my bad, in Chicago for Payback, I feel like will be his last match. ever. I mean, I really don't see him being the type to ever come back. But going along with him winning the Rumble, I feel like it is just his time to main event a WrestleMania, and why not do it at WrestleMania 30 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? So I'm going to say CM Punk outlasts all 29 competitors, the first one to enter and the last one standing.
Yeah, his three candidates are my three candidates. I think it's kind of the clear cut. I mean, we still don't know who's coming back, who's not, but I feel like those three are your favorites. And CM Punk is the guy I think that's really going to win it as well. The speculation of this being his last year, Payback in June being his last pay-per-view in Chicago. Never main evented WrestleMania. It's something he's always wanted to do. I think he's going to do it. I think what's going to happen is later down the line, Triple H and Randy are going to clash heads into where Triple H is going to make himself the #1 contender, probably at Elimination Chamber, and beat Randy for the championship. I feel like something's going to happen there to where it just sets up for Triple H and CM Punk. I feel like this feud's been brewing for a little bit now, and I feel like it's almost inevitable that we're going to see it at WrestleMania. How it'll happen, I don't know. That's just my thought process of how it's going to happen. Brock is considered the #1 contender after this pay-per-view, but I feel like Batista will get involved and that'll wash away. So, yes, I'm going to go with CM Punk, #1 guy, do it for the third time.
And bringing up the possible comebacks, I mean, I'm going to just throw some names out there. I've been hearing Evan Bourne. Of course, there's Christian, and then you have Batista coming back, and you never know if Hulk Hogan will show up. That's always a possibility. Chris Jericho is supposed to be in Pittsburgh tonight. So, I mean, you would just think returns. I mean, the returns are probably one of my favorite parts of the Rumble match. You get to see old-timers come back and guys that have been out on injury. And speaking of injury, Evan Bourne's been gone for 2 years. I would be very excited to see Evan Bourne make a return at the Rumble. But this is definitely a Rumble match that's very up in the air, I think. But like us two picked, I think CM Punk is the favorite out of all those guys.
You also got Rob Van Dam who could come back. Sheamus.
Oh, that's a
haven't seen him in forever. I'm thinking this is the prime opportunity for him to come back. Rumors are speculated that maybe even Jake the Snake Roberts competes just for a little bit. We saw him for the first time in years. Crazy. It was an awesome sight. Maybe he comes back, and we forgot the big one, Sting.
Oh, God.
This is something we need to talk about. TNA, that worthless show that it is. He did lose his contract on Thursday, which is to speculate Sting is coming back to the WWE, maybe to face Undertaker at WrestleMania. Who knows? A very interesting guy that we might also see at the Royal Rumble.
Such an exciting matchup that's going to be. And then, like I said, the possible main event here, John Cena taking on the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton. Hopefully this is a better match than their TLC match. They really hyped up the TLC match to where it was supposed to be one of the best of all time, and it definitely did not deliver. Granted, it wasn't a terrible match. It wasn't a great match either. But I really feel like John and Randy are going to have to keep this storyline going here and kind of end it right now at the Royal Rumble. And I feel like that's going to have Randy Orton coming out on top once again. Who knows if Randy's going to do it in a cheap way or like a ref's going to cheap out of it. I just don't think Randy's going to pick up a clean win. Something's going to happen. You really can't have John Cena lose cleanly. He's the face of the company. I don't see him losing cleanly to Randy Orton in the main event. But I'm expecting Randy Orton and John to have about a half-hour match, maybe even longer. Hopefully it delivers. I can't wait for that matchup myself. I'm a big fan of both. But I think Randy Orton will walk out the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really don't see Randy losing. I feel like this is a match I'm very confident in that Randy will win, but like Kyle said, I don't think this will be a clean win. I feel like this match has a lot more importance than many people think. Their first match was really disappointing for the hype that it got, in my opinion. Just very disappointing in how it was all transpired. But I feel like this match is going to set what's going to happen at WrestleMania. I think it's going to start the conflict. Who knows what's going to happen? Road to WrestleMania starts after this pay-per-view. I think it's going to start. This is a unified belt, so it obviously has high significance. But I do expect this to be a long match. I feel like they're going to try and rebuild what they screwed up last pay-per-view. I obviously see Randy pulling on top. Don't know how, but we'll see.
So there is our 2014 Royal Rumble predictions. I'm very excited for this pay-per-view, and I can guarantee you so is Aaron. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this pay-per-view. So like and subscribe to this channel if you're already not subscribed, and follow us on Twitter, and take it easy.